Hi everyone, and welcome to my question and answer vlog. Hi everyone, Nicole here. The lighting in here isn't going to be the greatest, I'm sorry, but right now is the only time I have free with Roman and Martin at church to film this vlog, and I filmed the entire vlog. It took 30 minutes to film, and the whole thing was out of sync. I am having huge issues with my Mac. We upgraded our Mac to Mountain Lion, and after we did that, it kind of messed around with everything to do with video. So whether it's QuickTime Player or Photo Booth, it's out of sync. And we have contacted Apple about it, and they're doing the best they can to fix it for us. But it looks like it may actually be a hardware problem, which I don't know how that happened. But anyway, so I'm filming on the iPad right now in Roman's room because it's the one with the best lighting, if you can believe that. Because it's evening, it's about 7 o'clock at night here, and so I'm going to try and race through this. I am so sorry that I'm going to race through this. I went in depth into my answers for this question answer vlog the last time I filmed it, but I just don't have the time tonight. But I really want to get it done because I've said I've been going to do it for about 2 weeks now, so I need to do it. I'm all a little bit fancied up right now with my top and my necklace and thing, and that's because we've been to a wedding, so I'm a little bit more fancier. Bra's showing a little bit fancier than I usually am. So a couple of people asked how many children we want, and if we have decided on any names, if we want boys or girls mostly. And Martin couldn't care less. He is just absolutely carefree about the whole situation. Except for the number of kids, he would just have baby after baby after baby after baby if it was up to him. I'm kind of keen on 3. Our country's average is 2.5 children in a family, I think. 2.5 seems like a strange number, but that's just what it is. And I think 3 is good. I mean, cars only hold 5, so that's 3 children and 2 parents. Once you get that 4th kid, it's kind of like that's, you know, more car seats, more prams, more luggage, more space. So you're going to have to upgrade your car. Usually by then you've got 2 of one gender, so perhaps you're going to have to get more rooms in your house. You're going to have to basically expand, make everything bigger. So I'm thinking 3 is probably a good number, but we'll see. I mean, I've only got one baby. My baby boy Roman, I love him so much. And you know, I don't really have the experience to say when I have another baby that I'm right, that's it. No more kids. I can't handle this. I don't know because I don't have a second one yet. So, but once I have a second one, I may go the complete opposite and absolutely fall in love and go, let's just have kid after kid after kid after kid and want lots of kids, you know. I think for me, it's a play it by ear kind of thing, see how we go. But I definitely want more than just Roman. I am so happy with Roman. He is just absolutely gorgeous, but he needs a sibling. He desperately needs a sibling. He is just going crazy by himself. We have to go to playgroup, we have to go to swimming lessons, we have to go to all these things that have other kids just so he can socialise. I think it's time for a sibling, and, you know, we've been trying for baby number 2 for 5 months now, I think it is. Which, in the whole scheme of things, doesn't seem like a very long time, but when I was doing my fertility treatment trying for baby number 1, 5 months seemed forever. So I can imagine that a pregnancy with having Roman is going to go so fast, because just 5 months of trying to conceive baby number 2 is just gone like that. It has gone crazy fast. We're in no huge hurry. My desire for a baby is starting to grow a bit more, getting a bit stronger, and I'm getting very clucky, and seeing other babies, I'm just like, oh man, I want another baby now, and I'm so tempted to just go and use that other embryo that we have. But my ultimate goal is to conceive without fertility treatment and have that other embryo as a backup plan, basically. So we're not in too much of a hurry, but we also are at the same time, if you can kind of understand that. The question about do we want boys or girls, I really, really want a little girl. I know everyone says that they'd be happy with whatever they come out with, but I'm going to be honest and say that I really want a little girl. I'm really girly. I love bows and bracelets and bangles and things like that for little girls. I'm not into huge amounts of jewelry myself. This is a lot for me for going out to a wedding. But I just want a little girl that I can dress up and just you know, adorn her with gorgeous little things, you know. Boys are a little bit boring. They've got shorts, t-shirts, hats. That's about all I can accessorize Roman with is hats. So, a little girl would just be absolutely gorgeous. And, of course, if I have another boy, I will be just a tad, and I say a tad, like small, amount of disappointment that I don't have a little girl. I would be so grateful because I'd be having another baby, and that's kind of, you know, teetering on the edge of worry of like, oh, we're going to have another baby, you know, it took so long and so much effort to have baby number 1. Is it going to be the same for baby number 2? So, of course, we're always going to be grateful for any children we have, but, of course, I want one of each. It would be wonderful. As for names, I do have names picked out for both a boy and a girl. I'm not going to share them, not because people are going to steal them, but I think I'm going to keep them secret because it's all part of the anticipation and excitement that will be baby number 2. Are we going to find out the gender of the second baby? Most likely. I'm too much of a planner to not find out. So if the second baby is a girl, then a third baby, if we are blessed with that, is most likely going to be a surprise. Because we've got our one of each. So we'll have boys' clothes, girls' clothes, and toys and things like that. So it'll be great to have a surprise. But I think I'll need to find out the gender for the second baby just because I want to know if it's a little girl and I can go crazy buying girl stuff, or if it's a boy and then I know I won't need to buy as much. And just maybe upgrade things like the pram, capsule, things like that. So I think it's all to do with the excitement of baby number 2, and that's probably the reason why I'm not going to tell you the boys and girls names that we've picked out so far. And of course our ideas could change too. We're probably going to ask for your guys' input and ideas around the time that we find out, just because you don't know what people can come up with and you think, oh wow, I really like that. But I'm pretty set on some names for the time being. So someone else asked, how is this month's trying to conceive going? I am currently on cycle day 32. It is going to be a long cycle, I can just feel it. OPKs still have not turned positive, although in my eyes they look positive, but the digitals are still saying negative. So obviously that's my polycystic ovaries playing around with my hormones and making the test turn positive when they're not. So luckily the digital OPKs are a lot more sensitive and they are saying negative at the moment. I must have ovulated around the late 30s, early 40s, cycle day 40s mark last cycle because I got my period on cycle day 50. I'd given up temping and OPKs that month because I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to ovulate. So I'm seeing if that's going to happen again this month. Still got maybe a week to go before I may ovulate. 50-day long cycles suck. They really suck. I just had an ultrasound and I'll probably be doing a proper update on that. But my lining at the time was 9mm and my ultrasound 3 months before that was 15mm, which apparently isn't good. So apparently 9mm is much better. But I'll do a proper vlog on that later. So yeah, basically this cycle is still nothing going on. We're just chugging along, seeing what happens. Not concerned about it too much. I've just got to remember to stay relaxed, happy, and enjoy life, and enjoy Roman, enjoy Martin, and just not get too caught up in the whole trying to conceive crazy world, because if that happens then I'll probably start getting stressed and that's not going to help with my cycles anymore. So we're just taking it day by day and just seeing what happens really, which is a nice way to do it. It's nice to not be like, right, you're going to do these drugs and you're going to do these drugs and you have to inject yourself with this, and when you get your period you're like, you know. I'm kind of pleased that I'm just relaxed, taking it easy, seeing how we go. It's really nice. I like it. I like just going with the flow right now. Another question is, where do I live? I'm not going to tell you. I'm in New Zealand. The country is New Zealand. I'm not going to tell you which island. There are 2 main islands in New Zealand and a little island down the bottom. But it's just, you know, putting yourself out there on the internet, it's just too dangerous to tell people you live. There are very, very select few YouTubers out there who have my physical address, and that's because I've been YouTube friends with them a long time. I've grown to trust them, and they've sent me things, and they haven't come and stalked me, so that's great. So I'm not going to tell anyone else my address. Someone else said, have I been to America? The answer is no. I have travelled to Australia, and in Australia I've been to Brisbane, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Canberra and Sydney. So I've been to a few places in Australia, and those were on 3 different holidays I've been on. I've also been to Rarotonga, and that was with Roman's godparents. We went on holiday, and that was just a few months before I conceived Roman, so that was great. Yeah, that's all I've really travelled. Martin and I haven't really travelled further than that, because it's just, being in New Zealand, you're so far away from all other countries that it is just crazy expensive to travel anywhere. You're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars to go further than Australia. I mean, our trip to Australia in December this year is costing a bomb. It is costing thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's just to Australia, and that's just for the plane tickets. And Australia's not that far away from New Zealand when it comes to flying in the plane. Like, no one goes by boat anymore, but in the plane it's only a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours if you're going to the eastern side of Australia. So it's not that far away, and it still costs that much money. Do I have any desire to go to America? No, probably not, only because it's so western, and so is New Zealand. I want to go somewhere where it's really different to my own culture. You know, like Japan, China, Thailand, you know, somewhere really different. Greece maybe, Italy, France, something really different. America is just, I mean, it's huge. America is huge compared to New Zealand. We only have 4 million people in our entire country, split between those 3 islands. Well, I don't think anyone lives in the tiny 3rd island, but so yeah, America is huge compared to us, but when it comes to life in general, I think we're pretty similar. You know, we have McDonald's, we have KFC, we have Wendy's, we go to work at 9 and come home at 5, and some people work in the weekends, and most of us own cars and computers and TVs and radios, and we go to school, and so, you know, our lives aren't too much different to that in America, I don't think, anyway. Another good question is, did I ever get to the point where I was just sick and tired of trying to get pregnant? Hell yes. There are some points where I'm just like, ugh, do I really need a baby? You do actually get sick of trying. You get sick of being told when to have sex. You get sick of injecting yourself. I mean, if you do something for so long, of course you're going to get sick of it. Even jobs. You know, like, if you've been in a job for like 10 years or something, eventually you're going to get sick of it. I was in a job for 2 years, and by the end of it I was like, time for a change. But, yeah, it is hard. Trying for a baby is really hard, especially when it's such a roller coaster ride. You know, you're feeling really high and you're excited because you're like, oh, I could be pregnant this month, and then you get period and it goes, you know, it really messes with your emotions. So because of that, in some ways, I was sick of trying to conceive, because it was just, you know, it kind of sucks the happiness out of your life a little bit. I did find positives in my journey, but, you know, it really does take a toll, and there definitely were points where I was just sick and tired of it. But I was so determined to get pregnant and have a baby and expand our family that I was just going to pick myself back up and move on, you know, just carry on and do whatever I could to get pregnant. Another question, was Martin always supportive? Has he ever held back feelings not to hurt my feelings? No, we've always been completely open with each other, and I think that's what really helps in a marriage. Martin isn't a soppy type either. Like, he doesn't really cry. I've only seen him cry once, and that's when his dog was eaten by another dog. I know, terrible. We've always been really open with each other, and I've been the one who's bawled my eyes out, you know, when my period arrived, and just sick of injecting myself and stuff. Like, I would cry and I'd get upset and I'd get angry, and he's the one who'd be like, come here babe, I'll give you a cuddle, I'll give you a kiss, I'll give you a massage, we'll go away for the weekend, we'll relax, and he has been honest and told me, you know, this really sucks, and but we've just got to trust God, and he's always been really faithful to God, and knowing that he was going to help us through this, and he knew that we were going to get through it. So no, he hasn't really hid his feelings. I think the best thing is to be open and honest with each other, really. Nothing good really comes from withholding feelings. But then also, in saying that, if he had really broken down it probably would have made me feel really terrible, because it's my body that's the problem. And so if he'd really broken down about it, I probably would have felt a bit stink. And so it's probably good that he wasn't like that. But he's not like that anyway. He's a very strong person. Date night. What do we do? Do we put fertility discussions aside on that tonight? So, pre-baby, before we had children, a child, we used to have date night, because we are very social people, and we'd have people at our house pretty much every night of the week, or we would be out somewhere every night of the week. So Wednesday became our date night. It meant that we would hire out a DVD, have a nice dinner, phone would be off the hook, we weren't allowed to text anyone, no one was allowed to come over, and our friends and family knew this. They knew that Wednesday was our night and that they weren't to disturb us. We would just kind of be with each other, you know, enjoy each other's company, which was really nice. As for did we discuss fertility? No, I don't think so. I just don't think it really came up. I don't think we consciously decided not to talk about it, or do talk about it. I just think it didn't really come up, because we were just kind of like having a nice dinner together and watching a movie, so the conversation didn't really come up. Now that we have a baby, date night has now become a once a month thing, because of course we've got to find babysitters. And half the time, by 9 o'clock at night, we're so tired, it's just like, let's go home, you know. But I think you do, once you've had children, advice to all my mummies to be out there, once you do have a baby, you've really got to try really hard to get out and have a date night at least once a month, because you really don't get that alone time with each other anymore. A baby takes up a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you've really got to work on your marriage. And so I really recommend a date night, even if it's once a month for a few hours. That's better than nothing. I really recommend it. It's a great night out to just really reconnect with each other, and also try not to worry about the baby. Leave the baby in someone's hands that you absolutely trust 100%, so you're not checking your phone every 2 seconds going, is the baby alright, is the baby alright? Although I still do that sometimes. I wholeheartedly trust Roman's godparents. They are amazing babysitters, but I still just like to check in and make sure the babysitters are okay. I know Roman's going to be fine, but I'm like, are you okay? You know, you're not tired, you're all good. Yeah, so definitely do date nights. They are amazing. And even if you are not pregnant yet, once a week, no phone, no computer, no nothing, just you and your partner. You'll be amazed with what conversations come up and how deep and meaningful you can get, and it's just really nice. The whole reconnection is really good for your relationship. I love this question. Describe how I felt the moment looked into my eyes for the first time. This kind of question, when I first filmed this, I just about bawled my eyes out, because it's just so emotional, this question for me. It's truly something that you can't explain. You are so exhausted. You are pretty much naked. You've got people looking at your vajayjay. You've got lines and stuff hooked up to you if you've got a hospital birth and there's interventions and things. I know some people don't do that, but that's what my birth was like anyway. And of course, my birth was very kind of like, right, you're going to have your baby tomorrow, pretty much. Like, I went in hospital with high blood pressure, and the next morning they're like, okay, we're inducing you. I still had 3 weeks to go, and they're like, okay, we're inducing you today. I was like, what? I'm so not ready. I'm not prepared for this, okay? So it was very quick, and it was kind of scary. It was like, whoa, 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 slow down. But there was no time for slowing down. It was like, this baby's coming now. And so when he was born, I think I was in a bit of shock and like, is this real? Is this real life? You know, that kid from the dentist. Is this real life? You've seen that on YouTube. That's what it was like. I was just like, whoa, I have a baby. And if you watch my birth video, you probably see me just like looking down at him going, huh. And Martin's going, oh my gosh, we've got a baby. Because it was just such shock. But once that shock's over and you look down at them, you just are like, whoa, this person is dependent on me for the rest of my life. It's also feeling of love, relief, relief that they're okay once you hear them cry. And don't get me wrong, some people don't bond with their baby straight away. I actually did. I did bond with Roman straight away, but if you don't, it's okay. It's quite common. Don't freak out about it just yet. And if you think it's a problem, make sure you talk to your midwife or doctor and that about it. But for me, I bonded with him straight away. Once I had him in my arms, I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so little, this is my baby, this is what he looks like, look at his hair, look at his eyes, look at this, look at that. And once I had a split second to do all that, then I was whisked away into theatre and to get stitched up, and I was in theatre for 2 hours. So by the time I got back to Roman, I was exhausted, I had maternal fever, I was drugged up on morphine, and which is a shame really, but that's just the way it goes. But basically the first time he ever looked into my eyes was just a heart-melting moment. Like, it's hard to describe, it's just surreal, really. It's like, whoa, this is amazing. And if I could do this, when I have another baby, I can't wait to savor that moment again and really savor it this time. Hopefully without all the drugs and that making me go, you know, because that's what happens when you have a birth full of drugs, because I was induced, and I was just pumped full of drugs and stuff, so I was kind of high off my head at the same time, so that didn't help. But it truly is an amazing moment, and if you're going to give birth soon, I really recommend that you really stop, take in a breath, and really savor that moment when you see your baby for the first time, because it is truly magical. Question about Martin. How did I meet him, and was it love at first sight? No, it wasn't love at first sight, because we met a few times before, and he was actually keen on my friend, so I didn't even think of him as a potential mate. When it got a little bit serious was when we were at McDonald's, a group of friends. He somehow got my number off someone and started texting me, started texting back, and we started going, you know, meeting up, and then he happened to be in my group class that year because he was at a different school to me, and then that year, when we were 17, he came to my school, and he happened to be in my group class and my computers class, and then we found out we didn't live too far away from each other. We started walking to school together. He currently had a girlfriend at the time, so he was keen on my friend. That didn't work out. Got a girlfriend, and then he was kind of keen on me. It sounds really terrible, doesn't it? They mutually broke up, apparently, on Valentine's Day, and then 2 weeks later he asked me out. I was kind of like, whoa, you know, some guy likes me, because he was my first boyfriend. Yes, I married my first boyfriend. How romantic is that? And from there, the rest is history. Our relationship grew stronger. We couldn't bear to be apart from each other, you know, the whole high school sweetheart thing. And then, yeah, he asked me to marry him once we'd been dating for 18 months. I said yes. We got married 6 months later or something. And, yeah, and, you know, relationships go up and down, and ours have had highs, lows, but we are stronger than ever, and I love him to bits, and I know he loves me to bits, and he does so much for his family. He has sacrificed so much for Roman and I, and because we are also quite young, he has sacrificed a lot in his life too, going out with friends and things like that. Not all the time, but sometimes. And you can just tell that he's a doting father. It's just so wonderful to see him with Roman. And yeah, so yeah, I guess you can kind of say we met at McDonald's. How nice is that? It's so great. Met at McDonald's. When we actually got engaged, when he proposed to me, he took us on a journey of our lives to get to this moment of him proposing. So he took me to McDonald's for breakfast, took me to Taupo, which is a beautiful lake in New Zealand, where we spent a holiday, a summer holiday there together. Packed me a picnic lunch, because that's what we used to do there. Then he took me to a whole bunch of restaurants and cafes that we went to in our time while we were dating, and then eventually took me a hill in our city where he said, I don't know, a year before, he was like, I'm going to propose to you up here. And I'd completely forgotten about that, and he actually proposed to me up there, which was so sweet. So no, it wasn't a love at first sight, but that just shows that there is hope when there is no love at first sight. Okay, last 2 questions. One about cloth nappies and the other one about what did I do to calm my nerves before birth. I'll do the birth one first, and then I'll get my cloth diaper stash. So what did I do to calm my nerves before birth? Well, because it was such a big rush, my blood pressure was dangerously high, and that's why it was such a huge rush, and like, you're getting induced now kind of thing. So I didn't have a chance to really think about it too much, so I think that kind of helps. Not thinking about it hugely will help, so keeping yourself busy the few weeks leading up to your due date. Not so busy that you tire yourself out, but Sitting around is probably not the best thing, because then you start thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to give birth, yada yada yada. Maybe when you're at the hospital, having someone there to talk to you, just keeping yourself busy in your mind, I guess, would probably be the best advice I can give you. Unfortunately, I was going through labour all night, so nighttime sucks because no one's around, everyone's asleep, the shops aren't open, so you're pretty much looking at the four walls and thinking, holy crap, this is really happening. So, of course you can't help what time of day you give birth, but that's all the advice I can give really, is keeping yourself busy. Also keeping things positive, looking at the photos of your pregnancy, enjoying those last few days or weeks with your partner, really enjoying life and doing things that are exciting and fun and positive will really help keep the nerves settled before the impending birthday. Okay, and lastly, my cloth diapers. We do use cloth diapers, but we mostly use disposables. Okay, so these are the disposables that we use. They're just a really cheap brand. They are the cheapest brand I've found that are actually really good nappies. Yeah, we call them nappies in New Zealand. Diapers, whatever, means the same thing. Because we get Huggies and Treasures here, and they are just crazy expensive. Whereas these ones, you get about 70, 80 nappies for $25. And when I first brought them, I was like, oh man, these are going to be really crap, and he's going to leak everywhere. But they are actually really no different to the expensive brand, which is wonderful. So I use these because they're just convenient for me and what works for me. But I do have a small cloth nappy stash. These aren't all of them. The rest of them Roman has just recently grown out of, so I've had to put them away. So these are the only ones that fit him now. We do have some with cute little patterns on them. Those are diggers or tractors or something. The reason we have them is because it's good to have, like, for when you're running out of nappies, you're always going to have these. So if you run out of nappies and you can't be bothered going to the store, then you've got these. Yay! Also, if we are changing his nappy and we know Roman takes a morning poop, okay? He's regular with his morning poop, but sometimes I'm like, man, I really need to change your nappy because he is very prone to nappy rash. So I have to change his nappy immediately when he wakes up in the morning. And I'm like, you haven't done your morning poo yet. I know you're just going to ruin a disposable and I don't want to waste them. So I'll pop one of these on until I know he's done his morning poop. And I can just put this in the wash. And I haven't wasted a disposable nappy. Also, I use them when we're going to the pools. So I put them in this. Then we go to the pools. I change them out of this. Put them in a water nappy. And basically it just saves ruining disposables and wasting them, you know, trying to be good to the environment and not using lots of them. And some days I just think these are cute and I want to use them. So I don't really have real explanations as to why I have cloth and disposable. I just like a bit of both, you know, mix it up a little. When he's just roaming around the house, I might put one of these on. If I'm being lazy, I'll put one of these on. Yeah. So that's basically why I have a bit of both. It's just these are fun and funky. You can get different designs. I do notice that they are quite stiff around the legs, so they kind of make his legs bow out a little bit. But other than that, I really like the cloth nappies. And these are the inserts that we use. One during the day, and if I were to put them in them at night, double this layer, so 2 of these. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. Thanks so much for your questions. I'm so sorry this has taken so long to get done, but we've had technical difficulties that were out of my control. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to follow along with our journey. You can watch our journey just been, which is to baby number 1, or you can subscribe now and watch the journey to baby number 2, which we are currently on. I love all you guys. Thanks so much for watching. You are a great support. I love hearing from you. I love getting your comments. Make sure you join my Facebook page to keep up with all of my updates. I update on that regularly, whereas YouTube I update maybe once a week, just because we get busy and sometimes I've got nothing to talk about and I don't want to bore you all with me babbling on about nothing, basically, which I'm just about doing right now. So join the Facebook page if you want to get daily updates, pictures of my OPKs, and hopefully pregnancy tests, baby bump pictures, but I've got all of that of Roman's journey on there already, and that is www.facebook.com/those 2 little those two little lines, but I'll put that link below if you want to just click on that and go over and join me over there. And make sure you say, hi, I'm from YouTube, just so I know where you're from. It's nice to know. Alright guys, thanks so much for your support, and I will see you in my next vlog whenever it comes up. See ya.